Tier list 2.0, kind of. Kind of. So, as you all might know, 5 days ago, it was my birthday. And I released a very special video, this video right here, in order to celebrate my birthday, of course, and also to do a review on one of my favorite games of all time, Gale of Darkness. And the entire time up till then, I was focused down on getting this video out by the time limit I set. I set it very specifically to August 5th. That was the due date for this video. So I had to get all the footage, scripts, and then absolutely focus on editing. But that left us a little starved in terms of live streaming. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this. But also, I thought it would be a little fun to essentially look back in my timeline, look back through all the videos I have made, or at least most of them, and talk about the history of the channel or some of these videos, the troubles I had making them, and some of the lessons I had to learn, as well as how developing went. Oh god, this is gonna be a clusterfuck. I have no clue how to start this. So let's go all the way back. Oh boy. And you know, when we all know what that means, because I talked about it briefly in my video in Gale of Darkness. Oh boy. There it is. So, as I said in my video, fucking the Roblox. Top tier cringe material. Yes. Okay, so now to get into this. I made my channel. I made it in August 8th of 2010, and I was a fucking dumb kid. I wanted to try and get up into the business and try and make some videos because, oh hey, I like this platform and all of that. Problem was, as an idiot kid, I had no fucking clue what to do or how people did these things. So, I was just kind of left to try and fumble around and be like, what could I do? And then Roblox came in. And Roblox, back when I first played it, you could see right here, it had an audio... I hope... Alright, let's at least adjust the volume. But yes, it had an auto record function at the top left in-game, and this is what I used to try and record videos. This is some fucking high quality. I put the video and also audio in the Gale of Darkness video, but I guess the volume on it is so low that nobody could hear it. So yes, this was the early years. This was just me. I don't even know what to describe this, just fucking around, thinking that this was some high quality content. Did I think or whatever that somehow you all just magically heard me while I was talking? I have no goddamn clue. Because yes, it did not come with a microphone. This is the worst it's ever been. Yeah, and on whatever shitty old computer I used to record this. But yes, it was recording from within the Roblox function out of it. So as soon as I pressed this button, it would auto stop and then it would upload, which also explains this shit. Apparently, the video function copy and pasted the information about the level or whatever Roblox calls it that you join into. So hence why there is all of this. And yeah, you can title it. But God, this is what you all signed up for, isn't it? How the fuck did 9 to 11-year-old you run Roblox better than my current laptop? What the fuck? Apparently Roblox games are called Experience now. Oh, they're called that now? What? Shadow Zekrom 5. Yes, okay, so now that you mention that, I know specifically. This was around Generation 5. This was around the time when Generation 5 was coming out. Holy shit! Ah, it hurts. You wish they made a Coliseum free, and they had a Shadow Zekrom. You fucking... Oh my god. So yeah, no, these were the videos that were released back then. And there's something, I don't know. There's something, alright. So now, state of channel address. This was the point where I came back into the genre, into YouTube. This was 4 years after, and it was around the time where, if I'm remembering this all correctly, birthday just happened, I got Generations, and also I got, like, I think, the Elgato capture card, which is still lasting, baby. I just kind of smacked the cord a little bit. And I also asked for a blue snowball microphone, because up to that point I was kind of in a boom, and I wanted to try and get back into it. But also, this was my first time speaking on camera, and so...
Hello everybody, and welcome to something I normally do not do on this channel. I felt it was necessary in order to explain what had happened.
Explain what had happened? Oh, yes, true.
It's been since my last...
his voice is ultimately less obnoxious than... Doesn't it... Popular channels, popular MMOs, SS. YouTube just automatically set those videos. Sky does fucking Minecraft. So yeah, no, despite having some of the tech, I still had no fucking clue to an extent what I was doing. I didn't know about proper audio management or like making sure I sounded good. I didn't know any of that. And I was just like, recording equipment. Let's see if I could try and find one. Camtasia Studio 8. That sounds like a good idea. And then for the rest of this video, I just fucking recorded the screen and rambled and... Also, yes, old YouTube UI. Fuck, I said pause! Why? And that was repeated as well for... Bionicle Gen 2 discussion. Because again, I'm now distinctly remembering that when I got back, we went to a local town, maybe not local, but whatever. We spent the weekend and a little trip going to a nearby town. We spent the weekend there, and it also helped because it was that same time where it was announced that Bionicle Gen 2 was cancelled. So that also, I guess, kind of helped with me wanting to get back into YouTube, because then when I came back, the birthday happened, I got the Yeti microphone, or Blue Snowball microphone, and then I was like, this is prime content to try and talk about. So...
Hello everybody, and welcome back.
It's still bad.
Dragons, and today... I'm going to be talking about that other discussion video that I said.
Also, yeah, in terms of me just not knowing, also, I did not know about the idea of proper space and audio utilization. I just thought, hey, I'll just record in the middle of a day or whatever without any disregard to the space around me, how it might sound, or like, oh, hey, I should probably have it be more enclosed. I decided to record a good portion of videos, like a surprising amount of videos up until a certain point were recorded in my goddamn hallway. I'm pretty sure this even extends to videos like the Frontier themes, Countdown, and other things like that, that those were the videos when which I was still recording in my hallway. But yeah, these were the 2 videos I started off a channel with. Great. And of course, also, I did other videos, but as you can see, I privated some of them. This one in particular, this was a lesson for me because I did this video purely because other people were doing it. Because around that time, YouTube made some changes, of course, with platform. People didn't agree with it or like it. And it was also being talked about around by others. And I just decided, hey, you know what? People are talking about it. I might as well talk about it. Never talk about a topic without having an interest of it. Like, don't talk about a video. Don't make a video just because other people are making videos. Don't. Yeah, you're not gonna enjoy it, and it's just gonna come off as a terrible video more than any other that just comes across as a cash cow and trying to ride the train of whatever conversation is happening at that moment. In that case, YouTube. And, oh boy, this video. So, this was also more of an attempt for me to get a footing on the platform, or in trying to, I guess establish a base for myself. And back then, I was like, oh, I want to do some kaiju content. I want to focus on some Godzilla and kaiju. And, what the hell? This was yet another video that I just felt like doing. Because, hey, might as well. And I didn't try and consider, like, oh, hey, how should I try and do it, or if it's inherent to me. Got quite a few dislikes, as you could see. Oh, wow, I was the only one liking it? Wow. Jesus Christ. I guess that just goes to show how I took the video. People did not like my opinion, or I guess the style and whatever. And hey, I'm not gonna blame. It's a trash video. I don't like the idea of deleting a video. I want to at least have them around to be as lessons or whatever. But, I don't know. You'll notice, of course, throughout the channel, that I have not done much Godzilla content. Because I found out I'm not exactly apt for it. I mean, granted, I had an interest in it. Oh, Godzilla NES, yes. I had an interest in Godzilla. I liked it, and it's like, I felt like as if I would enjoy doing it, but ultimately the style in which I did it and the videos as a whole, I just did not enjoy. This goes the same with the Shin Godzilla video. I tried to review a movie, and I found, hey, I'm maybe not the most cut out to at least try and do it, or do review movies or kaiju and all that. So ultimately, I've just kind of put a stop to that. I don't exactly dedicate myself to it all that much. That's not to say I've grown out of interest again, but it's like I know my focus when it comes to YouTube and knowing, oh hey, I'm not exactly the most competent when it comes to it. So what's next? There was the double cross analysis, which happened sometime afterwards, and that was, you could see like the little tab right here that this was a video I had downloaded, and then it was through that download that I watched it. This was a self-explanatory video, in all honesty. I pause and unpause and talk about it. There were a couple of edits I made throughout looking at these things. And, oh yes, so this was still with Camtasia Studio 8. This was still with that kind of editing program, and I did not have Vegas yet, so this was the program I used for those first couple of videos. But I mean, yeah, this was the point in the series where I started to try and edit these conversation videos more. Getting in these little edits, but not exactly knowing, oh hey, I should maybe, like, blur the background or whatever when I'm pulling up images. Yeah, there's no fade in or fade out for these images or pop-ins, they just kind of happen. And then at a certain point, I just swapped to still images, X speed 2. Yep. So yeah, this was the point in the series where I was starting to use footage and other pics and all that and talking. This was around the time because if anyone wants to know what I'm talking about in this video, it's just like, oh, hey, me thinking that the... Why do I forget the area? The ruined pinnacle had a connection to the ancient civilization because the ruins, and especially this top area, which I mean is still a really cool and strange top area, but with the red energy glowing through it, the dragon energy, and Volstrax, I was like, oh hey, is Volstrax like a guardian of this area for the ancient civ, like Duremudira? Wow, how that has aged. Now we know Duremu isn't a guardian, it's just an invader. It just came into the Sky Quarter and was like, sup, I've taken it as my home. But yeah, getting to it. And then this is where it gets juicy. And then this is where it gets juicy. When it comes to the discussion video. So yeah, this was the point, this was the video in terms of a timeline where everything went uphill in the fact that I became more popular than ever. Fucking 56,000 at the current time. But also, as you can see, where I gained a lot of detraction. This is the point where I became infamous as the man who posts Zinogre pictures and ranted and talked with a shitty-ass sit-up. I went into a different person's room. I had to prop up a blue snowball microphone on the bed, and I was just kind of sitting there trying to speak into it.
This is what happens when 3 weeks.
Raid Shadow Legends. Sorry. I will at least say that it does sound better than the fucking first few videos. There is a noticeable audio difference comparing this video to State of a Channel or whatever, or Bionicle Gen 2. But oh god, the old background! Also, so outside of Zinogre picture spammage, where it's like, yes, so this was the time in which I had to learn the hardest lesson, especially from, it was the Evolution video and the Ryan video. Those were the two videos I had to learn the most from. This was a little bit of a warning, where in which, yeah, for one, it definitely spice up, or at least give some more visual stimulus to the video. And I think the reason I did this, the reason I did these pictures in this whole format with the background and then the Zinogre pictures and the differences was because by that point I had watched a lot of commentary creators or people within the commentary community, and I was like, oh hey, that's a cool style, them grabbing or using pictures of certain characters or their avatar or whatever and using them throughout the video when they're talking to interject and state points and all that. And I thought it would be a great that somehow this would be equivalent to that. Me doing this for the span of an entire video would be equivalent to like the interjections that commentary creators make. And also, I'm going to say this to anybody right now who has this kind of style where they use pictures owned by other people or made by someone else. Fan art, if you will. Fucking credit it. I cannot tell you how ashamed I am looking back at these fucking videos to look through and be like, all these pictures I used without a care, without even considering the people, oh god, that low quality image, but without even considering the people who made the fan art and obviously how they would feel about it. Not even that I didn't ask them, just that I outright did not credit the people in the description. I did not say like a little edit with text on the screen saying who it was at the time. But yeah, I saw that this was somehow more important to the overall video, and like talking about the points where gore doesn't have eyes, or like it wouldn't have eyes. Why does it have eyes? Why are there glowing pockets under its that are clearly eye-shaped? Why is it like this? I thought that was more important to the overall video and the description than linking the damn artists in the description. And that's why if you go to any video nowadays that I make, you'll see that I put art credits and as well as video credits in the description below. And all of that. Because it's fucking important. It's important in terms of copyright and also just being a generous human being and giving credit to where it is deserved to the artist. Because, oh god, copyright law and all of that shenanigans. And, you know, Twitter already has enough of that with people retweeting art and people thinking or not knowing where it originally came from. But, like, this is such a cool piece of fan art, and it's like people deserve to know where it came from or, like, where to find it. I didn't bother with any of that. Link the artists, people. Link them. They are seriously undervalued and underappreciated. And the climate we are in nowadays with the internet, where it's just like how easy it is to copy and paste or save an image and then repost it somewhere else without anybody knowing where that art came from, who it belongs to. It's a shame. It is a crying shame. Just for the sake of it, because there's so fucking many. There are so many of these comments, and very rightly so. It's rightly deserved. Because, God, I botched these videos. I botched the hell out of these videos. And oh, hey, look, Blazing Knights and all that. But it's like, the overall, I guess, thought process is like, oh, hey, just put stuff on the screen to freshen it up, or to at least make it not too stale. Didn't realize in the process that it would end up annoying so many people. And I am sorry. I am deeply sorry. This and the Ryan video, which was worse? This or the Ryan video? You had the images of the monsters, why not just use them? I don't know. Because again, I think I was still in that commentator mindset where it's like, oh hey, I'll just copy what these people with skills and professions do, but worse. Without any understanding of why they use that format and why that format works. I didn't know why. I was just like, oh hey, pictures of this character associated with me. Spam the pictures. And yeah, that led to this shit. This was at least an attempt at a kind of neat topic. Ryan's was pure, dumb, salty cringe. Yes, I will very much admit that right now. Much of that Ryan video was made out of salt. I am not going to deny. Let's just say that my fifis got a little hurt, like that morning, or one of those early mornings where I was still in school at that point, and I just so happened to come across this video on my homepage. I was like, oh, what's this Red Leopard Videos person making a top 10 favorite monsters, or least favorite? You can already guess what I got super butthurt about. I didn't know how to take people's opinions. And I think also, it's very much a thing where it was this feeling of I just started my channel, and despite not having all that high of a view count, despite not being all high up in terms of influence, despite not being that big of a YouTuber, I still think even the smallest of YouTubers still feel some kind of feeling of invincibility. Maybe not invincibility, but like that they are impervious, that they can do what they want and it'll be for the sake of content, that there needs to be no questions about it. You're an official YouTuber now. You don't need to care about all of that. So if you see an excuse to make a video, then do it. Like, oh hey, the YouTube controversy, regardless of if you actually enjoy making it, just make it anyways, right on that hype train. You feel a little butthurt about a certain video, and you have some not so nice thoughts to say along the lines of Zenogre is not graceful, make a video about it! Make a video about it and whine for 26 minutes! 26 minutes of salt. Yes, 26 minutes of salt. Of me thinking it's a video, I can make a video for whatever reason I want. And also, yet another tip I want to give to people, don't fucking make an editorial video like this without a script. I made all of these videos, all of these early countdown style, or not even countdown style, but all of these early videos without a script. Yeah, it was Godzilla NES, where I finally learned the lesson of, hey, maybe you should script for videos like these. But no, I thought that it would be a better idea to not only go off my pure salt, to not only make a video for the sake of making videos, but to also not script the video, or at least put some kind of document behind me to put my thoughts on. I did none of that. I was running purely on salt and rage and monologuing throughout this entire video, and you can you can tell. You can really tell. I was fueled purely by salt and anger and all of these feelings I felt were justified or whatever, and veiling it under criticism. Which, I mean, I have no doubt that there were actually problems with the video that I kind of mayhaps have touched upon. But it was still mostly covered in salt and anger and all of that. If I were to do a video like that now, I would fully try and approach it from the angle of, okay, non-bias, non-hatred, just, okay, whatever problems with this video, what are some things you can do, and how to improve upon it. Instead, I tried veiling it under critique and saying, I don't hate this person, I just want to see this person get better. I am fucking surprised looking back that this goddamn friendship resulted from this one video. Which is why I still say, despite all that is wrong with these videos, despite everything wrong with this video, I would not take it back. Like, if you gave me a time machine and say you could travel at any point in history in your life to undo a mistake of yours, I would not go back and undo it. I would keep this video around. Not just because of the lesson it proved for me in conjunction with the rest of the earlier videos I made, but also because, yes, the friendship. I may joke about him, and we may comment about him a lot, but goddammit, he's a genuinely good friend. And I am surprised it has lasted this long, and I have to say massive thanks for him willing to take the offer, or hell, to just even listen to this video in general. It's fucking shocking. But yes, no, on top of all of that, I barely edited the video itself. I barely trimmed down on audio. There are still plenty of breaths and gaps in between sentences where you can clearly tell I am trying to find what to say, what my next thought is, or like how I even repeat points and monologue. You can tell I edit nothing out. It's all raw. So this was just 26 minutes, almost 27 minutes of me being fucking butthurt. Also, I'm kind of curious, what point in the video is this at where I start if I unpause it?
You try out new skills. You try out new styles of play. You try out tips.
Yeah, you could see. You hear that breath. That you hear me going like that, which is why nowadays I try my damnedest to, of course, cut down on the overall video length. You'd be surprised. You people would be surprised how much, even though it might take a long-ass time, really focusing on all these breaths and, like, deleting or, like, fading in and out the barest of microseconds or whatever, you'd be surprised how much of a difference that makes in terms of overall video length. It's shocking. No pun intended. How's your voice gotten higher, it sounds, by the way? Like, what the fuck? Because the mic and monotone involved. Also, yeah, I'm also gonna comment and say, yeah, it's very much, when you start out talking, it's like being camera shy. You are not gonna be proficient with talking through a camera the first time. You're gonna end up mostly with what I was in the Bionicle video, or any of those older videos where you can barely hear me, there's a lot of gasps and all that, and pauses, and I really don't try to cut out the background audio, I don't try to balance it, none of that. But as you, of course, make more videos, get more accustomed to talking into a microphone to some idiots on the internet, you of course, get more acclimated to it. You get more confident and all of that. And of course, yeah, you get better tech along the way when you have the money. That definitely makes a difference. But yeah, that was that whole debacle. So what would be next? Okay, I'm just gonna play this video, no context, because I still fucking love this video. And I'm sorry, Dak, but I'm also not sorry.
Yo, if we triple cart on his last leg, I'm... Drop it!
Ah, that old edit, God. I forgot about that edit. I made. There are some spots in it where I clearly could have edited it better to coincide with the theme and whatever, but as a whole, this is still a classic. Back rubs, man. Back rubs. There's a reason we call it that. I think the reason why I made this little video was literally because I was in a stream, an old stream of his once, and I guess clips were being shown around by one of the other people of salty moments from him. And for no reason, no apparent context, I was just like, I know what to do. So yeah, I guess going on from the Cantor videos and all those others, I then started, of course, decreasing the time in which the pictures were on screen, or the overall usage of it. I think it was at the point where I got Sony Vegas, so I started using that, I swapped editors, and all of that, and I started knowing the importance of how, oh hey, differences in footage. Like, oh hey, look at this actual editing I'm doing. Granted, it might not be the best quality compared to now, but hey, look at it. I'm editing the video and putting in all kinds of different footage and all these things into the video outside of a background and images over and over again. And this was also where I tried making a unique style for the countdowns. Oh, actually, I'm curious to see what this sounds like now.
These are just monsters I would like to see in general make it back into World. With all that said, let's get hunting!
That's not too shabby. I don't think that's too shabby considering the time frame. That was pretty decent for the time. That little triumphant music of the Monster World premiere music, that theme going along with that, and the footage being spliced and the Anjanath, and then the timing with the fireball into title screen and all that, that's solid. Yeah, it's like around a 7 or so. Text spacing bother. Yeah, I think I didn't know how to, I was still learning Vegas at this point, so I didn't know, like, oh hey, text centering and all of that, or like shadows or like outlines with the text or like the fonts. So I didn't know that. It was centered to the left. Wow, so Reggio's was number 5. Which, to be fair, I still kind of do want him. It's just that Regios, if he does come back, he needs to prove himself. He needs to be more special, or like have a bit more firepowered impact to him. Yeah. Like if I did a DLC list now, I could still see why I would put him on there. Because he hasn't been seen in a while, and he needs the upgrade. He needs the upgrade. Yeah, and this was also, because of countdowns, this is the point where I started trying to give us a special countdown style, in which I started off with these little splash screens, and then when it came to the actual entry, this little bar right here, which I still carry to my videos, my countdown videos, even now. It's just that these old ones were of a whole gradient and all of that. There's still the same general premise of like, oh hey, the text, the monster, the name, or like the actual monster itself. But the banner itself was just a pure gradient with no background to it, or no color or transparency or whatever. I did not have the background, I just had the Terami images coming up on black backgrounds and all of that. So I still was figuring it out. And of course, Inoga was on the list. Kurapeka was Kurapeka was number 1. So yeah, that was going decent upgrade from that kind of style. So what would be next? Live stream. The big one. So I'm just gonna discuss it right now. There's a lot to say when it comes to this series, but I feel like I've already talked about it decently enough when I was still deciding on the 5th episode and when I was having a dilemma. So I'm gonna try and cut it down short to what the overall point is. So Story Explained, this was my attempt to further try and make something special for me. Like, a lot of the channels, like especially smaller channels, it's all about trying to find that one thing that allows you to break from the mold, to be popular, at least in the main light. Oh god, these tear me pictures, and I still don't think I credited it. Of course I didn't. Research sources, no I did not. And I used the old-ass shitty BlazBlue wiki, of course I did. But, oh god, it's the background! It's the background! Anyways, this was, I guess, my attempt to try and create something unique for me that nobody else had done. Because one of the reasons I got into BlazBlue in the first place wasn't because of the fighting. It was because of a story. It was because of a story, what I heard from a certain Countdown creator of, like, how evil Terumi as a character was. Hearing how complicated and batshit insane the story was is the inciting incident for why I got into BlazBlue in the first place. And so I guess I felt like, oh hey, I care about the story of BlazBlue, I want to create something different that not other people have done, something that makes me stand out, gives me attention and all that. Also, out of a place of, like, trying to make people understand the story or, like, help them out, why not make this series that's all about talking about the lore of BlazBlue and the background information that some people might be confused on? So I decided to tackle it. And one of the challenges immediately was trying to figure out the style of how I would edit it or narrate it. Because at the time, when I got the inspiration for this video, I think I was in a VaatiVidya mood. I had watched quite a bit of VaatiVidya with his Dark Souls and lore explanations, and I was thinking I could do something like that. Like, you know, that kind of tone of voice or like how you explain the narrative. So if we unpause right now...
Endless void of space, holding information dating all the way back to the very beginning.
I sound quieter in this video with the tone I'm using than I do with the Acantor video. And then came the problem or challenge of trying to figure out, okay, how do I present the actual video? And how do I fill up the space and the visuals and all of that? Because BlazBlue, outside of being a fighting game, when it comes to the story mode, it's a visual novel. You generally consist of a lot of characters in backgrounds like these, and their model, or maybe not models, but like their character portraits and art, and you have the dialogue box and everything. It's a visual novel. Outside of the occasional fights and the cutscenes that happen, it's mostly told by a visual novel style. So that immediately presented a problem of, shit, if this was any other game presenting its story, I would try to use that footage throughout to try and narrate or like show off what's being said. However, the best I had were the images and backgrounds that were presented throughout that are in like the BlazBlue gallery modes or like in the story mode. Oh god, did I really not use a shadow and stroke on white text with a white thing in the background? Unreal white things, there I said it. But like, with the already color white in the background with light shining, I really did not use a shadow or stroke? Really? Damn you, old Monarch. So, with barely any cutscenes to use, I had to use the story mode screenshots and the backgrounds and character art and all of this in order to make the video and the visuals. But I still didn't want to just go from one image, like bop, 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 into another. I wanted to create some kind of movement or flow. So then I started doing what you see right here. What I literally did was I used the zooming tool, or like ratio or whatever, and I zoomed in on a certain part of the screen, and then on the timeline, later on the line of the clip, or of this footage, I zoomed it back out to full screen, wherever it would be at, so that way it created this illusion, or like this effect of movement, and then when it came time for the next bit of footage, I would fade in and fade out, or maybe add in this image. This effect is a little rough, but I think at this time, or like what I was doing here, where I was zooming in on the Susanoo crest and trying to get these other images, the other crests out of frame, I was still learning like how to use Sony Vegas, or like how to best edit it, or like the flow. So, it's still a little rusty, but that's pretty impressive considering what I was doing at the time. So yeah, this was the general style. Also, there was one part of this video I was really proud of, if anything. And it was this bit at the end, where I'm talking about the Black Beast and the Prime Field War and whatever. And the music used, which let me, unmute.
The beast destroyed everything. By the end of its destructive rampage, nothing was left. All that was left behind.
All these gaps
was a
in
world
pauses and
of
sentences. Holy shit.
and death.
This could have been done so much better. But yeah, that music, by the way, in the background, fun fact. I had just recently watched the part 1 of the Godzilla anime trilogy on Netflix. Like, just before editing of this video began, or like, it was posted. And the ending scene of the first movie still had an impression on me. The anime trilogy is a fucking disaster. But I will still stand by that the first appearance of Godzilla Earth at the end of the first movie was phenomenal. It was well done. I liked that ending scene. I liked the music used. So I was like, you know what? For this description and what's going on in this image of just basically the apocalypse, yeah, I may have used BlazBlue music in the rest of the footage. It may have gotten me copyright striked and not able to monetize the damn video or earn money. But hey, I'm gonna use this not BlazBlue music, instead Godzilla music, for this ending bit. And for what it was pretty nice. But yeah. This was the starting point of the Story Explained series, and, you know, it seemed like as if I had the style down. The problem was, after the critiques of the first video, or like seeing the first video and what I wanted to do, I had that feeling of I could do more with this. I could try to spice it up, differ it up, or like add in some more bits of personality in there. No, it was this. It was this. It was this. So, after that first video, I tried to interspice some more personality and style into it to be less monotone, or like less like VaatiVidya and be like, oh hey, it's my own style of narration, which resulted in moments like this.
Oh boy. Okay. Get this. Shuichiro, being the ingenious scientist he is, decides that instead of searching for anything else,
You got to suffer with
anything
You get to
to
suffer
help
through
activate
this.
the linchpin, that he is going to use his own daughter's life and soul as a catalyst for it. And no, I don't want to hear the argument of it would have been for the greater good. At what cost, though? What about Nine, who cares for her sister more than anything else in the world? And, well, as shown in later games, she is serious about that remark. What about
God, that delivery! God, that delivery! Oh, that was so bad! That delivery was... Okay, that might be one of the worst deliveries I had. Oh my god. Just like the nonchalance within which that's dropped or whatever. And just the lack of tone in conjunction with the rest of what's going on. Holy shit. But yeah, as you can see from the rest of his section and whatever that is, I tried intersplicing moments like this, brevity, if you will, into the overall video to try and get a bit more personality out of it. Which, you know, that's a neat idea, if anything. The problem was it conflicted with the rest of the style I was going for with Story Explained, and this comes into the overall problem with Story Explained, and among other things, a factor that did not make me excited to work on it. It's that, like, every time I came back to it, I had to change something up, or something about it changed from the previous episode to the next one, whether that be the moments I interspliced throughout, the brevity, or whatever else, or like the way in which I talked. Every episode it felt like it was changing. It was like as if I was readjusting the identity of the series every episode or so. Some things were still left intact, like the editing style, the images, and all of that. But overall, as the identity started to shift a whole lot more, it was more so me trying to find my ground of like, okay, what kind of, when it comes to videos like this, what kind of YouTube content creator am I? Am I theatric, like Vati Video, like along that style? Am I very info heavy? Do I like to explain in heavy detail? Or do I like to interspice jokes throughout, or like side comments and whatever? And this kind of identity crisis with this style of video I had no experience with whatsoever. It was just me researching the videos, scripting it, and everything else. It was just me trying to figure out how to go about the formula or what kind of identity I wanted for not just the series, but arguably me as a whole when it came to future videos. And that ultimately just detracted to the overall experience with Story Explained, among other things, when it came to my motivation with producing it. Hence, the gaps got longer, there were less episodes that came out, and then later down the line, I eventually started contemplating just ending the series at episode 4. Hence why there was the update video where I was like, I need your help, I need to know like what you guys would think, or like what I should do in the situation. Ultimately, I made that final episode, and if I'm gonna be honest, I am glad I made that final episode. I got a comment on the update video, and I'm not gonna show it off, just for that person, but like, it was something along the lines of like, oh hey, I was making a series as well that grew popular, I grew out of it, and I was contemplating quitting the series right there and then, and just never returning it, but ultimately decided to finish off with one last episode, end off the series so that I can put it behind me and have no regrets. And it worked out for him, and I think that was the comment. Out of any of the comment, not to detract from anybody else's advice, but like, I think that was the comment to get me, to convince me to give it one more shot. And I'm glad for it. So yeah, that was the ordeal of Story Explained, in which some parts of it didn't change all that much, surprisingly, compared to other things on the channel. But in terms of the identity crisis, yeah, no, it's gigantic. It played, I guess, arguably the most important role on the channel outside of, like, the early rant videos, I would say. So yeah, moving on from there, or at least moving on from Story Explained, we got into Frontier countdowns, or more into countdowns, and trying to establish a foothold in like, oh hey, countdowns are an exciting video format to try and get into. So this was the next big step after the monsters I wanted in World. And not much changed here. It still had the same style, where in which like the DLC monster list, it had this little intro showing the silhouette of the monster, little musical cue, and everything else that it cues up to. Pariah jump scare, yeah. I mean, overall, nothing much changed. There's just more so a refinement of the DLC monster list, albeit still trying to find... Because, yeah, the first episode or second episode of Story Explained was still around this point in time, so I was still trying to find my foothold and what kind of personality I want to have as a content creator as a whole, so hence came jokes like the Pariah, or like the Firsty Pariah, and all that kind of stuff, and that freak out. My focus is trying to go through, like, the jumps, like, whatever leaps in quality, or, like, what I advanced, or what I learned. And in the case of the Zora Magdros video, I kind of found my modern style, if you will, when it comes to the current topics. Like any kind of topic video that I do nowadays, from time jump, royal autopsy, countdowns, all of that, it was established with this video. With the introduction of... Yes, this. So this was the point in which I established the still going latest interpretation of my avatar use, or like the character image, and all of that. We went from spamming pictures over and over again with little care in the world to the footage used, or to the sanity of the viewers, their mental health, to a little bit better in DLC mons and things like that. Very sparingly with the images, but still not as good as it could say, cause it still ended up mostly being in a void, in a black background. And I wanted a bit more of that Monarch, that namesake, that Monarch personality, or like flair to it. So I created this kind of style, this background, with the castle in the background, made this little box to show videos in, and then this little space to the side, all this space over here for character images, and all of that. And I'm still happy of this. Like, if I really wanted to, it might be a good idea sometime in the future, or soonish, to probably freshen up or make a new one of these, just, you know, change it out. But I still think that this style works well, because it allows for a break in the pace of footage. It allows for videos on the side in this little box to be still shown, to change up the footage, and it still allows me to keep that little bit of commentary, creator, personality in it with the avatars, or like the self-expression. Yeah, the self-expression, if you will. Like, yeah, I'm still gonna say I am happy of this. I am proud of this decision, and, you know, it's still lasting even to this point in my modern videos. And I plan on at least keeping it. Of course, updating it and improving it along the way, but as a whole, I am still happy with this. And that goes with the Zora Magdros video as a whole. This was my, I guess, still more of me trying to figure out my identity. I think at this point I was leaning more so towards informative, or like explaining, and especially like talking about my views on something, like this monster for instance, and then going through the pros and cons and like the negatives and whatever else about the monster, and going into great detail about it. In this case, Zora Magdros and the problem of large Elder Dragon battles. This was also the point where I like to think that I started using jokes and other things and bits like that more effectively. Like, let's see, what is this moment right here?
Oh, but Herder, Story says otherwise. He's gonna blow up the new world if we don't do something.
Okay. So, there's all this build-up and telling of power, but we don't see it. We don't get an example of it.
I fucking love that Azrael pick.
Bad somewhat
I
during
love
this
that
entire
Azrael
fight
pick.
is when the magma cores all become active. That only happens once. The fireball, perhaps? But that's pretty easy to avoid, to be honest. Not even being slammed down by a 257-meter tall monster with its hand hurts all that much. So, unless if you just don't watch your health, get killed by the magma cores being active, or just utterly fail at protecting the barrier, which, as iterated before, is basically impossible, then you literally have no way of dying. But it's not the difficulty or lack thereof.
Yeah, humor, laugh. Yeah, laugh right now. Laugh, you fucking idiots. I think I just said laugh like a couple, repeatedly. Yeah, obviously I was still finding my ground. You could tell by my enunciation I was still trying to find it. But overall, I think this is a definite improvement over the previous videos. I just think that, I probably could have done the thumbnail a whole lot better, looking back. Azrael got even more cursed, yeah. Oh, there was the Great Lakes Monster World Ranking of 2019, which, it's still more of me trying to figure out where I am, or like what kind of style I want to do, and I think it was around this point, if I'm correct, where I begun thinking about it. And I will also say, when it comes to the scripting of this video, I didn't know how to do it, or like how to make it consistent with other styles. Like, yeah, as you see at the end of this video, there is a tier list, but I didn't do a tier list ranking throughout. Like, you guys did not see the tier list. And that's because I was a bit uncertain throughout the process of like, okay, how do I do this video? I was very uncertain how to do it. I was thinking of like, oh hey, once I get done with every monster section, do like a little fade-in of like where that monster's placement on the tier list is, and then it would slowly add up more and more as time flies by. But for some odd fucking reason, I didn't do that. I didn't do some kind of OBS, which, to be fair, this was still with the old laptop, which we'll get into that later. This was still with the old laptop and computer, so it wasn't the most proficient when it came to editing or streaming or OBS and all of that, or recording. So that might have played a part about it. But I just don't know why I didn't edit the tier list, or like a snapshot of a tier list after the end of each monster's respective segment. Let me actually see what's this point onwards.
It's just sad. To end off on a positive note, however, Zora, at least you aren't as boring or bad as Loud.
Like, yeah, this pause right here, this fade-in would be a great time to introduce that
Fuck this thing. Fuck it. This salt may be coming from the fact that it's a stupid idea to try and do a no armor run on its temper version. You know what? Sure, I'll give the people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that portion of assault. But everything else is genuine. Kieran and World was the first time I ever failed a quest, and let me tell you that I did not enjoy it. Not a single bit. So yeah, good luck, chump. And let me remind ourselves, but this is all without considering the absurd difficulty jumps when it comes to Tempered Kieran and Arch-Tempered. My Little Pony, friendship is madness.
I just wanted to let that section play, just for the sake of it. Yeah, I could see a bit of the modern me in there. This was where I was really starting to figure it out, or like, when it came to sounding sometimes enthusiastic in the script, and really enunciating certain parts and words, and like, actually sounding as if I was angry. Which people might say is being overdramatic, or like overblowing it. But, I don't know. Like, it's a bit of personality, and also it helps to, like, it helps with showing the kind of mood or feelings I have, because my whole style now is, like, opinions about something, and then talk about those opinions or explain why. And it's like, if I'm talking about something negative, then I can really emphasize the negativity in my voice, and start breaking my fucking throat in order to show the anger or like my kind of feelings with whatever that I am talking about. It's also a very hard thing of like, it's easy to be angry in the moment or like when it comes out of a genuine place, but when you're scripting a video and you're looking over and you're recording it and commentating, and you're like, okay, this part here, I'm supposed to sound really angry or shout loudly because this part here is like in all caps. So then, because it's scripted, I have to kind of force myself to be dramatic. So I'm not just being dramatic for just the sake of it. It's also, I have to actually sound like I'm being angry and I'm making sure not to undersell it. But yeah, this is September 16, 2019. I'd still say this video holds up really well. There are definitely a lot of parts that you could look at fondly, like the ancient legend part, Nergigante, Kushala, and of course Kieran, as we just all saw. And also, I think Azure Rathalos. Yeah. I mean, not many other big points to talk about when it comes to these discussion videos. Lauren's video, me trying to bring back Closer Look, which was for a short time, and then dead for a year, and then Hollow Knight video happened, and all that. Still the same kind of formula that I do the typical discussion videos in, but a little bit changed up with these like little tabs here, like final thoughts, or whatever else that I had in the video. Yes, like yeah, the tab like this, Lauren background, final thoughts, and all of that, where from the C-Days video I had to like cater and do these little unique sections, and then mix it in with the modern style that I had at that point, which is fine. It worked out decently. It and the Deep Nest video. I guess maybe not a major change, but like top 15 favorite Monster Frontier monsters. The definitive list. Not the old top 5, the definitive list, because I actually had experience with playing the game. This was a 2-parter. My biggest countdown yet, so that was the trouble with making it. And it was also around this point with making this video and audio recording that I find that I don't know how it took me that long for the idea of again, space and like your workspace to kick in. I don't know how it took this long, but it was when recording for these 2 videos that I finally had the idea of moving to spots of a house that were uninterrupted, not used, closed, so that way I could have a better sounding audio and just overall quality compared to the other videos in which you could easily tell there were gaps or like little bits of echoes because it was in a hallway. So it took until this long for me to fucking get that memo across. I am shocked. It's, the Gyao section, and I'd honestly say the Pobo section in part 2, I could have done way better. Gyao, as a thing of like, I really didn't have many points for him, outside of like, him just being a solid overall brute wyvern that borrows a lot of things from other monsters. I could have easily put in other monsters that I fought, like Tord class, or Duragawa even. But no. No, I didn't. Instead, I put Gyao on the list and dumb Lego analogy. I don't know what I was thinking making that. And then Pobo, there's nothing wrong itself with the Pobo section, but I just think my delivery could have been so much better. Also, yeah, which video was it? I think it was favorite Frontier themes, where it started to go into the modern style, in which we transitioned from the pure gradient into it has a background, there's a little bit of color in it to blur it, the monsters render, and then the text with the pattern and whatever in it. I want to check just for memory's sake. How is this Pobo section?
Much have to do with the same reasons why I like Kurapeko. Unique song mechanics, the capability to buff and heal itself, as well as even going further beyond the point of full-on part restoration if it is allowed to. Also a mix of weird yet simple.
Okay, yeah, that pause there. There could have been more time in that sentence there until the next one happened. For sure.
Any basic movement render he has is just so cool. Pobo, in summary, is just such a ridiculous and weird monster. Both his design, attacks, theming, and more, that you just can't help but love him. I can't help but imagine, though, all the noise complaints he gets. Ugh.
Okay, yeah, I was right. Also, that section only lasts for like a minute. A minute 30. Granted, length of a section, or like video as a whole, does not equate to quality, But like looking back at the Pobo section, I feel 1, delivery could have been better. 2, the overall editing could have been better when it comes to splicing and fading in and out, or, you know, giving more time to breathe between sentences and making it sound more natural. Because a lot of that felt like it was just run-off sentences, or like as if it was pasted and cut unnaturally to fade into one another. And just overall, I feel I could have talked more about Odaba in this not Odaba, fucking Gojira. That I could have talked more about Pobo than I actually did. And I think that might have just been a thing where in scripting I didn't know what else to say. And I mean, also it's the nature of it being a top 15 where it's like, fuck man, you don't want... I mean, granted, my Guan entry is the longest entry in the video by far. Look at that. A whole third of the video taken up by number 1. But I don't know, I could at least excuse Guan being like, this is my fucking favorite monster. This is my favorite monster of all time. It's the number 1 entry I am allowed, and see plenty of reason to go and talk a lot about why this is my favorite monster in Frontier, and all the reasons behind it, and be extra explanative. Because hey, it's the number 1 slot. So yeah, you better explain it. The other thing that this countdown introduced is this little bit.
Just maybe, at some point in the near future and beyond, something will finally live up to the legacy left by Frontier. Maybe a monster or two finally makes it into the main series after so long. Maybe something more. The future is uncertain, but whatever it holds, I look forward to meeting it. I have been the Monarch of Dragons, and farewell, old friend.
Not gonna lie, I'm still happy about that. I am still so happy about how that turned out. Everything down to the outro, Cantata Mortis as the theme, the footage used, as well as just the way in which the outro is bridged into from the final words of farewell, old friend. And the music also ends. I was so happy when I got that in editing. I was so fucking happy when it all worked out. When the Frontier G theme paired perfectly with what I wanted. The vision in my head came true.
I have been the Monarch of Dragons.
Listen.
Farewell, old friend.
I'm still happy about that. Yeah, I'm still happy about that. God, this is why I love video editing. There are plenty of parts in the video editing process that are absolute pain. Don't get me wrong. Especially audio editing. Audio editing can go fuck itself. But moments like this, where everything just goes according to plan within the project, where it's exactly like you imagine it, or just something pairs up so fucking well. Oh, I love it. But yeah, this countdown, outside of further enforcing my style from this point onwards, it also introduced my outro. Or at least my current outro, because, you know, I can always revise and re-edit the outro in the future. But I literally had the specific idea of like, okay, for this video, it's a special video, I want it to have an outro. And then from there, I was just like, oh, hey, let's use this outro for a lot of other videos. So I'm using the full outro for countdowns But then, like, just the very last bit with Susanoo for things like, as you saw, Royal Autopsy, or like the ending. Welcome to the Abyss. Of course, in that time, there have also been series like early on digital, Marvel Studios, Black Widow. Black Studios, what? But yeah, things like, Time Jump. For all the people out there who are wondering where this is, I do have all intention to continue this in the foreseeable future. The problem is just like, if I want to cover more monsters outside of Generation 3 or 4 or 5, I need to play the older games. I need to play through the older games. And maybe not every iteration, because every iteration, play through every other monster game I can get my hands on, would be fucking insane. But to at least play the games still that have major differences in like a monster's iterations, that's still going to take a long while for me, or it's going to dedicate quite a bit of time. And I unfortunately have not gone to it yet because of other things. But whenever I do get back to thinking up ideas for Time Jump, I am going to focus on trying to play the older games. It's just that it becomes a problem more and more if it is, say, a Monster Hunter 1 monster. Like, fuck, if a monster is that old, then it's gonna be even worse for me to try and get a synopsis on, or experience with, or to just get like a little explanation, or like sections of the different iterations down. And that is something I did not factor when I first made these 3 episodes with Time Jump. Because, you know, it's easy. From Gen 3 onwards, it's like with Lagiacrus, you just have 2 iterations. With, Stygian, it's like free, and in Elatrion, it's also free. It's like with stuff like that, and with relatively recent games, it's like, yeah, that's manageable. But the farther back it goes in the franchise, oh god. So, yeah, continue holding off until then, people. Continue waiting around. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to wait a while longer, however longer. And I guess, also, yeah, favorite Sekiro zones. When I was back in the Sekiro Marathon, but this also introduced another small detail in these countdowns that I did from that point onwards and wanted to continue doing, and that would be
Latest up-to-date maps and your
This.
best grappling hook, because we're going on a little tour. These are my top 5 favorite Sekiro zones.
just this little thing. Just this little thing with the fade out and then fade in of the next gen intro, the little flash with the Pokemon sound effect, the banner at the bottom. It's not that big of a change in the overall formula. I just figured some kind of direction of like what number it is, what entry we are on, and some kind of transition. Like, knowing a transition and the entry number would help so much rather than what I did with top 15 favorites, which was just like, talk about one frontier monster, fade out the music, go to the next one, fade in the new music, and footage and banner and whatever else. I tried my hand at a special introduction for top 5 favorite Frontier Elders. Yeah, I remember. It was with the Nerg music and the effect on the text. And then it was 5 favorite Frontier themes, wherein which it was Dante rocking out on Nevin. Because I had been playing Devil May Cry 3, or Devil May Cry at that point when making that video. I am pretty sure. So, I was in that mood, and I was like, oh hey, it's music themed. Why not? It's nothing too special. If it's better for me to like have like a transition along those previous 2 videos' lines, then I might change back to that where there's something else than just a fade in and fade out of the entry number. But as it stands, it's fine. That's not bad. It does its job. And if anything, I was kind of inspired to have that bit in there because of I think Green Scorpion. Yeah, Green Scorpion. Countdown creator, Green Scorpion. And I mean, I don't mean to steal, but it's like I have my inspirations, and I want to kind of try and execute it or do it differently if I can. Also, a subtle detail of the image thing next to the entry number changing based on what the video about was really good. Oh yeah, like the little banner down here. Yeah, the idea for the banner down here for this video was hard because it was like, how the hell do I execute or like show off areas or locations? So I just grabbed a compass, and then neatly enough, there's like some kind of fancy map of the overworld of Sekiro that I was able to use in the background here, kind of hidden, but yeah. And that is up to date, I believe, on the big videos or discussion kind of videos. Of course, other things have changed since then. I introduced Royal Autopsy to the channel, and I plan on continuing Royal Autopsy. I plan on keeping Royal Autopsy as a permanent stay on the channel, just as a series to talk about video games. Not only to like, okay, actually have videos to talk about a game, but also to be able to branch out to other games without having to come up with an entire, how to word this? Like, if I wanted to talk about Hollow Knight, I could make I mean, it's a little bit of a weird logic, but like, I could make a review and Royal Autopsy of Hollow Knight without having to think of, like, okay, something like, say, Closer Look, where I have to examine some specific aspect about the game that I think is really well done, and then talk about that for the entirety of a video. Which granted, that has its own merits, but it's like, I don't want to do that every time I want to talk about a game on my mind. So Royal Autopsy will be good as a, not just a review series, but also a branching out series, just so I can talk about other games or broaden the scope of the audience, hopefully. I feel like this next section would be the easiest to talk about, and that would be streaming and the interesting steps with it. So before this live stream, I tried all day to figure out how streaming worked, or like how I could do it, considering my tech at the time, my setup, and all of that. I experimented. I tried streaming through OBS directly. It worked, but with the setup I had, nobody could hear me. And of course, first time trying to stream, I'm going to be a bit clueless. So ultimately, from that point onwards, I decided to stream it off the PlayStation 4's share button. And this period lasted for a good while. It was just the most convenient method for me when it came to streaming. It was the easiest. And also, when coincidentally met up with Draven, or like, I met Draven before this video, but like, when the cross-promotion events happened, like when we collaborated with one another's streams, when we were in a voice chat considering his setup, it was definitely a favor and positive overall that it was PlayStation Network. So ultimately, it worked out in the end. It was the easiest method I could do. I could still talk to people. I could react live. When I'd start talking, it's synced up with the gameplay. There was the gameplay, of course. And then I could talk with other people through a PlayStation party, like Draven, considering their setups. So that all worked for a while. YouTube was kind of a pain for me when it came to live streaming, or I didn't find it as open in terms of options with what I could do. Like if there was a moment or a clip or whatever, I couldn't just simply clip the video or the live stream on YouTube. I had to download it and then go through and find it. It was, I think it was around the time also when Ryan switched to Twitch, or maybe a while after. But his reasoning was like, he didn't want to clutter his channel, his main channel, with all these miscellaneous live streams and all the other content on the channel. So I was like, that's a good reasoning. And I feel that as well, where I don't want the live streams to clutter the rest of my homepage and feed. So I decided to move to Twitch ever since Leshen. It was Leshen. And then going into the Terraria stream, September 14th, 2020, this was the point in time in which it was just after, a month after my birthday. I got new tech. I got this new tech right here, my new laptop that could withstand streaming, recording, OBS work. It was way better than my old Lenovo laptop, and it still fit with the weird-ass lifestyle I have where I'm in a hallway, and if I want to be able to record or stream something, I need to move around and move all my shit. And that was always a fear of me where it's like, hey, if I got an actual desktop, it might be more powerful, but it would be a pain trying to lug that around everywhere. So this was definitely a good option for me, and it's still holding up. So then it was this stream to try and test out, and of course, plenty of other tests off camera, or like in Photoshop, making all the overlays that you see and are seeing right now through all the streams. That being said, this was also the stage in the live streaming where I had to figure out some of the more technicalities of it. Like, for instance, when it came to Disappointing Monsters, like this live stream, then I had to work around the state of everybody else, and especially Draven. Not to sound like as if Draven's dragging everyone down, you aren't, buddy, but like very much like his preferred style with the PlayStation VC back then, or like how he would be able to chat and communicate compared to Discord. And I had to try and work around that, and also I had to understand many hard lessons through quite a few streams. One, audio delay, or like, no, you can't just simply click go live and expect everything to be synced up. These first few streams with the new setup outside of Terraria, or like ones off the PC, are massively delayed in terms of our reaction, or the quality might not be the best. And second, unfortunately also, the overall quality of, like the graphic quality of these beginning streams aren't the best. Because at the time, I didn't figure out that there was a setting in OBS in the video capture device I needed to change. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, back when these streams aired, it was like around 480. The rest of the settings were at like 1080 or 9 or higher quality settings like 720. And this ultimately led, along with a audio desync issue and not understanding that, it led to these early streams not exactly being the most presentable. And unfortunately, it was during the Fatalis arc through the Halloween festival, I like to say. Because then afterwards, Astral Chain onwards, from here, I then started to understand, like, okay, all these tiny, minute settings I never knew about prior, or that I barely glanced over and just didn't know about. They were so vital to the overall quality of the stream. And so when it came time to archive and, more importantly, make the highlight video of Fatalis, it unfortunately suffered. And so did the Velkhana episode, which I have to thank massively Draven for hooking me up with the footage, his side of the footage, and especially his audio, which I could then sync up to my gameplay if I had any recorded. Like, yeah, you could see right here, the video says HD 1080p, 60 FPS, it's at that setting, and yet the actual, like, pixels on the screen within the gameplay are shit. It's so bad. And it was bugging me when I was editing the Fatalis video, and I had to spend, like, a good while, early 2021, to try and figure out what the hell is going on here, only to realize, oh, hey, it's this one small detail I overlooked that I didn't even know about. And as a result, the Fatalis video and Velkhana, to an extent, and the streams suffered. So yeah, now we get into this. And the reason this footage looks better is because this was not off of the stream. It was off of my Elgato. Because at this point in the night, I had given up, because I think also the conflicting graphical settings and everything else going on with OBS and streaming, which caused a lot of internet crashes and problems, and I got easily mad at that point because I was like, what's going on? I have better tech now. This shouldn't happen. So at that point, I just gave up for the night and instead just relegated to, like, Draven's side of the thing when it comes to audio and then recording it on Elgato. So that being said, I don't know why, but here's a poor Lynn being burned alive. Lynn, your tears of anguish give me strength. God, this video.
Yeah, actually did the real good. No! Oh, anyone behind me?
No. God, Lynn. But yeah, that's just about it in terms of live streaming, really. There's not much to go over. It's just started on YouTube with PlayStation 4 sharing, then it moves to Twitch for better ease of highlighting and clipping and downloading, and then new setup, couple of bumps with Fatalis in terms of like figuring out how it works or little technicalities of it, but now ultimately here we are, and I can hopefully run things competently. I love Lynn's, well, here you go, one more.
Oh, anyone behind me?
Hold on. Now I don't want to. Playback speed. Fuck. Oh. With the playback, it's so exaggerated. We are the bad guys, and I am fine with exactly. I am perfectly fine with this. Oh, and it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Because it's like you never hear Lynn. You never hear Lynn with like genuine panic and fear in his voice. You never hear him rage or have that kind of emotion. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, no, we started with the fucking Roblox, yeah, again. So that's where gameplay started. Oh god. Yeah, you're seeing that, right? Yep. That's technically what started off the reboot in terms of gameplay. So wait, I'm kind of curious, how shitty is this?
Hello everybody, I'm the
Say that once more.
Hello everybody, I'm the Monarch of Dragons, and welcome.
Okay, I feel like that's not too bad of an audio level. It's just very much quick, like I'm very quick. So yes, this was the game I tried getting back into YouTube with. Only 2 episodes. Fun fact, there were more episodes, but because at that time I was still figuring out how to record or like what to do, all those other videos were lost in the process. And then came these 2 videos, which were after the custom night update. And for these videos, I used Bandicam. That was the program I used to record these videos, or at least the desktop. So like when there was something like that required me, I didn't use the snip tool. I instead just used Bandicam. Like if I needed like something of me just scrolling through a comment section or whatever, or like a feed, I would use Bandicam. Good old Bandicam, yep. I mean, hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So then it leads into the BlazBlue gameplay, which is fine. Very much the scrub state of me, back with Central Fiction, where I just didn't know shit. Oof. Look at that delay. Oh my god, that delay based hurts. That hurts. Ooh, that delay based hurts. Look at that. Ooh. Okay, actually, how's the audio? Like, how good is the audio balance?
Wow, I can't believe I'm winning so many matches.
Oh, not that good. So this will come in later with the, might as well get into it right now, with the Monster Free Ultimate highlights. This was my first attempt at a highlights video, and if you go back and watch this, you'll notice that some things sound a bit awkward, or like that some of the editing is a bit unnatural. And that's because, the original draft of this video had some kind of music in it. And this was back in the day, 2017, when Nintendo was on their fucking period when it came to copyright and music. And the original version of this got struck. So I had to re-upload the entire thing. And I think there were also some technical issues involved with the file itself in Vegas that I couldn't exactly deal with. You know, copyrighted material in the background, and I wanted to see if I could remove the claim. Unfortunately, trying to remove the background music somehow glitched out and corrupted the audio from around Zin to Hollow Gen. As a result, I figured I'd re-upload the video without the music. Okay, that's what happened. I don't know why I didn't just find a different bit of music to go with this video, but whatever the case, yeah. So then there are now moments in this video where in which, like, yeah, that's just kind of out of nowhere, that alert sound effect, but there was music there that made it make way more sense.
Oh my gosh. You serious?
And yeah, when it comes to this and that BlazBlue video, it's worth noting that the setup with the microphone was really odd, and that I didn't use a headset microphone. This was still back in the day when I had the blue snowball, and I couldn't hook the blue snowball up to an arm or anything. I didn't even have like a microphone arm to attach it to. So what was the decision I did for this video then? You might be asking. Simple. I played the Wii U 3 Ultimate in an open living room, possibly worse than a hallway, and I had the microphone sitting on like the shoulder arm or like a good bit away from my mouth. Like much farther than it is right now, and definitely not as clear. And also still at the point where I kind of didn't understand bad audio balance and all that, or like if I needed to increase audio or like how to adjust it. Yeah, that audio setup could have definitely been better. And the free ultimate highlights were also my first attempt at making highlights, or with like with the text edits, the zoom ins, the pictures, as you can see. And yeah, as you could see, the microphone also picked up game audio from the game itself, so that resulted in double echo.
That hit me? Okay.
Like, yeah, you could hear it right there. But not a bad start for a highlight. And then, of course, these...
Hello everybody, I'm the Monarch of Dragons, and welcome to Blaze...
Again with me not highlighting or shadowing and using outlines for my text and not centering it. What the fuck, younger me? If you can't see, note, sorry if my voice is too quiet. Had to reduce my recording volume to make sure there is no volume echo. God. Which, yeah, still trying to get the hang of this. These are generally all unedited, and so I guess you could say this was the foundation for the unedited kind of style videos, the gameplay ones. That being said, there is also this. There is a reason why this stuff is private, outside of the fact that it's generally not content I am proud of, per se. I don't know, generally it just consists of a time period, and much less a person that later grew to be uncomfortable around, and it just kind of memories of that I didn't want around. Like, I'm not gonna delete it, but it's just like I don't want it around publicly. But I mean, I might as well bring it up for the sake of like, oh hey, progression. Those videos further encapsulated or like brought the point in on how my computer was not up for the task of handling everything going on. Like, look at this. Look at this. So again, this is on the old laptop I once used to have. And you know, it was a Lenovo laptop. It was fine, not the most powerful, but you know, I could edit with it decently. It could play Terraria decently. The problem was when it came to playing Terraria, as well as one, hosting it on a server with 2 other people, and also having OBS in the background. No, the game is not supposed to be the speed. The game is not supposed to be the speed. Let me tell you, Greed, it is not supposed to be like this. I am saying right now that because of how shitty my setup was, and how my laptop just could not handle a Terraria, Bandicam, Discord or Skype in the background, as well as a server being hosted at the same time, it ran like fucking shit.
And add in new things. With Call of Duty, they don't. It's basically just a few minor.
Okay, with those videos, I at least used a headset microphone. So that might have been a bit better, might have not compared to the other videos at this point. But in terms of overall performance and like presentability, Jesus Christ, these videos. Holy shit. And God, when it came to bosses, when it came to events or bosses where there was a ton of shit on screen at a single moment, God. Oh my God. Holy shit. Look at, it's chugging. It's actually chugging. My computer was dying. Oh, my poor computer. And so eventually, I realized that, like, shit, this series is kind of ass in terms of presentability. And so came the final episode, which was against the Golem, and that was the last episode ever. From that point onward, I put the series on permanent hold, because I just could not find a method to deal with the slowdown or figure out a better solution to it, given the tech I had at that moment. So yeah, the series was put on permanent hold because of that. And then, because of permanent hold, no uploads of it until I could find a solution or get better tech. And then the fallout happened. Or maybe not fallout, but I grew more and more uncomfortable and distant with the other person involved. I just did not want any involvement with them whatsoever, hence why I also privated this video, which was the world reaction, the first time reaction to World. And I mean, outside of the principle where it's like nowadays, I really don't like the idea of me doing reaction videos. Like looking at reaction videos, or it's like good reaction videos at the very least, they're fine. But it's like something about the principle of reaction videos, to me personally, or like how fucking easy it is to get views and money and attention from these kind of videos that can just barely require any form of effort. And considering the kind of videos I want to make that involve discussions and conversations and explanations and all that, where it's like I want a conversation and talk, and it's like, I tried my hand after this video a little bit with the Wildspire Waste trailer, and then again later down the line with the Iceborne debut, which was another instance of my tech just not being able to handle what was happening at the moment. Like, I'm pretty sure you remember that, Draven, or like Quentin was commenting about this on one of these recent days. That Iceborne one is, yeah, my laptop just couldn't handle it whatsoever. And then ever since then, I just realized, no, I don't like doing reaction videos. I don't agree with it, so I'm just stopping. I'm not doing it anymore. But yeah, I'm just bringing this up because it did play a part in establishing at least a basis from where to go for the gameplay. But and just different times. Whatever. So from then on, it's then we get into the world videos and stuff like that, where, these are oldies, God.
It's been a while since I've done this game. Last time I fully did a recorded episode was the beta with Nordagante, and the last time I fully...
Audio wasn't too bad, yet again, another headset microphone, but could be better. Oh, how am I forgetting Bloodborne? Fuck the Bloodborne videos, yeah. This video, outside of, like, the intro, I didn't edit all that much. Maybe also the outro, or, like, ending, because, yeah, I'm pretty sure I put, like, a little pizza, because, yeah, the pizza cutter. So then, from that point onwards, I started with the world videos, and continued like that. There were the live streams. The Temper Naked Kieran was something a little special, because it wasn't a standard of fare first hunt video. I could afford to go a little bit extra when it came to the editing, or like at that time, extra. And what I want to do with these effects. Ah, God. I'm still gonna look back in this video fondly, gonna be honest. But this was a video I definitely edited more of. Lunastra! That was a video I edited more of, especially when it came to the primary quest with the Teostra and Lunastra. But that was kind of a thing where I was trying to find my foot within the gameplay, or like figure out what kind of formula worked best for me. Then Ecliptic Meteor over Paradise. Part meme video, part gameplay. And I'm still proud of it. I'm still proud of this video, to a degree.
Stop right there, criminals.
Ah, that low quality zoom in image.
Confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine, or it's off to jail.
Bitch, I hope the fuck you do. You'll be a dead son of a bitch, I tell you that. Oh, shit!
God. This video tried to be really memey, or like going with the sound effects. But yeah, Crystal Kulu, and then...
Guess what time it is? No! Can I sing a song for you?
No! No! What the fuck is going on?
Congratulations, you just triggered a Vietnam flash.
God. Felt like zero anythings, yeah. So yeah, I fully intended on doing a Devil Joe style video, or like where it would have been the hunt. Then came Milan Behemoth and Crystal Kulu, and they fucked over everything. The first 24 hours of Behemoth, this was a story, but did not clear it. I think the farthest I got with a group was third area, maybe. But I was just defeated for the night, and we were not able to defeat Behemoth. And then came Draven's stream the day later, and we were able to clear it, and then came the rest of his video with, also, I guess yet another precursor to the modern highlight videos with the music going on, and then these little highlights or edits to complement what's going on. That being said, because I remember when Draven first saw this video, he commented like, yeah, the video might as well be comprised of two different halves. The first half is very heavy on the memes and like clips and other edits, whereas meanwhile the second half is more about the overall experience with the hunt and all of that. Yeah, and it was kind of conflicting with one another. So if going back, I would probably change one bit or another, or hell, maybe even separate these two halves into different videos. One that can focus on being memey, and the other that can focus on being like the Fatalis highlights, or like to showcase the journey through a monster. You know, I'm sorry, I have to play at least the intro to this video.
Everybody, I'm the Monarch of Dragons, and welcome back to Generations Ultimate. Oh, it feels so good to be back in a classic monster. Something that isn't World. I mean, no disrespect to World. It's a perfectly fine game. It just... Ah, there are certainly some things I don't like about it. So,
I am not sorry, but also sorry. Which, yeah, you could probably tell again hearing this video. It's got a little bit of different setup. Again, it's in the living room, but it's not as bad, or kind of not as bad as the free Ultimate one. I don't think there's any delay.
so that's what?
Okay, Papa John's. Okay, Papa John's. All right. And yeah, these were more so also along the lines of maybe the Lunastra video, the Generations Ultimate ones, especially. Yeah, like I remember, especially the Volstrax one. That was where when there were moments for editing, yeah, I went in. Then there is Valetian video, which there's not much to say about this video. It was the first raw Twitch clip highlight upload directly to YouTube. Surprisingly paid off well. It got attention fast, even back when it was first uploaded. I'm surprised, or I was surprised. I still am. I didn't expect to get this much for a testing of a first-time reaction, or like a Twitch to YouTube highlight. There weren't any edits in this. It was just straight from Twitch to YouTube, and it worked out well, and it paved the way for all the other Iceborne videos. Yeah, and then, of course, Devil May Cry 5 highlight, in which we further expand upon, I guess, the Behemoth, like the latter half of the Behemoth episode, in which I fully figured out, like, or maybe not fully, because there are still some things that changed from this game, or from this video into the other videos, but this is the video where I generally found out, like, okay, splitting up the Twitch stream into all different kind of highlights, putting that into a single video, and then the different characters everyone has in their assigned color text, and then the various edits along the way. It's a very simple formula. Back in editing this video was originally with music, which involved Devil Trigger, and then when it got to the Crimson Cloud. But then I was like, I couldn't figure out what else to do for the rest of the video. And also I was like, well, the game audio is also quite audible. So then in some cases you might just hear Crimson Cloud play over twice, or like two different parts of Crimson Cloud. One edited into the video, the other straight from the game. So I ultimately left that out, and then unlike any other highlights since then, it's just devoid of edited in music compared to all the other ones. God, and then I just did not know what to do for the latter. Like, if I were tasked with making this video right now, I could have easily ended it under 30 minutes. However, at the time, I didn't know how I wanted to handle this final third of the game involving Urizen Round 3, and then especially Virgil, and a Nero's Devil Trigger, where it's like, that entire moment was hype and was a highlight in itself, so it's like, fuck, might as well include the whole thing, and if not, then in the case of, like, the Virgil attempts, cut to the good parts, or whatever. I mean, they're good highlights, these little bits here, but I think, looking back, they might have stretched the video on for way too long. But oh well. That's just future tense me talking. And then there is the Crystal Kulu highlights right here. Where
music to No, don't go towards me!
I rolled directly under that leap. I should have been hit.
There goes Draven! There goes Draven! God. He's growing, he's growing, he's growing!
God, this challenge was so fun. Why is this a one-time event? Why is this the only time you can do the event? Why do you have to create a new save file to play it again? God damn it. And yet again, continuing onwards from DMC5, just still more of the edits and all of that, but also having the music throughout, from Jubileus at the very beginning to
14, we can fucking do this.
Sky Should Be High. I might have been influenced too much by Maximilian Dude's Dark Souls free boss rage video. That was the first. That was the place.
Absolute!
You swing his tail too, he would have killed you.
Oh my god!
I still think this video holds up really well. Maybe some edits could be a bit more accurate to the millisecond or whatever of the timing, but overall, this is still a really good hype compilation video. Oh, this moment.
I saw his leg clip through the bridge.
And of course, because it was a little bit of a Kulu Crusader special, there was the unique intro and outro where it was being a little bit dramatic for effect. I don't know what much else there is to say about these kind of highlight videos. There's the raw gameplay videos, these kind of highlight videos, and then highlight videos like the Fatalis highlights and Sekiro stream through. There is a little bit of an exception in the form of Tempered Regine goes on a winning streak. This was a fun as hell video to make. And it wasn't even like as if I planned for this video. I was like just lounging around looking at old footage, and I think I was like, hey, I never uploaded a Regine video, did I? Well, this just recently happened. So, or fairly recently. How long ago was it? September. So that was like 6 months. 6 months after. Sure, why the hell not? Might as well upload it. Thus, this video was made. I
have energy drink.
Well, goodbye, everyone. Goodbye,
Yeah. This was one of the most interesting videos I edited, and also one of the most fun. Because it was just kind of a video I could mess around with, and I could bend the rules a little bit. Like, be it Mimi, it could be a Mimi video.
Oh, very good.
No! You son of a bitch!
God. This is going so wrong.
So yeah, with this video, I could afford to mix it a little bit, make it partially gameplay, partially Mimi, put in these edits with every time he kills someone, all that. Like these kind of videos like Fatalis and then this, I am still supremely proud of when it comes to editing. Like Fatalis with One Winged Angel Rebirth. I was so happy with how this final part of the video ended with Heat Haze Shadow. I just really like this video. Sorry if I'm just letting you all sit around and just watch this video or this part for no reason. I just really enjoy this last bit of the video.
Yep, that's right. So he's the inventor of this shit. Of course he can.
And then the music sinks!
One bar down.
Oh, the music
We're
sinks.
gonna get tougher from here. He's got a spear now? What? Why does he dual wield? You already have the mortal blade! You don't need more power! It's got a gun! Mortal jump! Die, Yixing! And now...
I realize it's mostly the musical syncs, but holy shit. Oh, it was such a good feeling making this video.
Farewell. Saraba Tomoyo!
God, every bit about that last battle. And how I edited that, and the music sync and everything. Oh god. That and Fatalis highlights are still some of my proudest videos I have worked on when it comes to this kind of series. Or just gameplay highlights in general. Fucking love it. And of course, there's a ton of other different videos I've done since then. Savage Devil Joe goes Brazil. God. Poor Joe. Poor Joe. But, yeah. Almost 4 hours in. Good fucking lord. For something I didn't think... This seems like a theme for me. I said this, or was thinking this, for, like, the Iceborne and World tier list. Which, granted, I should have been wiser on, because it was every single monster in the game. So, yes, of course, it's gonna take a while. But then here comes this, where it's like, I selectively... Part of the reason why this stream took so long to start in the first place, like an hour to start, after I sent the message in Discord, was because I was readying everything. I was getting these tabs open and figuring out, like, what are the key videos I want to talk about. Because no way in fuck am I talking about every video. I want to just talk about the important ones. And yet here we are, considering my conversational skills and art of rambling, and it's almost 4 fucking hours in at 5 in the morning. Holy shit. What is this? I am so deeply sorry, people. But with all that said, we are now free of this shit. And yes, for like the last 2 hours of the stream, God, we can do some stories too. God.